Oh no, it's looping. It started looping. What's going on? Oh dear me. Hello, fellow humans. How are ye? How are you? A mix between alien and pirate then. Hello, fellow humans. How are ye today? On this fine Monday. Oh, right. How's everyone doing? Good weekend? Good weekend? Smoking my stylus again. Right. We're going to need... Actually, we're not going to need, believe it or not, this brush technique we're going to do today, we're not going to need the pen display at all, actually. For this... Why is my Fitbit clock like 3 hours behind? I don't know. Anyway. It was lovely, yeah. I stayed up way too late, though. The other night, I was playing a samurai game, and I was up till 2 a.m. And then my brain was like, hey, why don't we take a photo in the game's photo mode and try and turn it into art? And then I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea to do at like half two in the morning. And it was totally worth it. I'll show you what I did. So it was totally worth it, but the cost is a lack of sleep. There's always a sleep cost, but my brain is just a bit special like that. Get to the early hours of the morning and then be like, haha, let's be creative, Dan. Come on, wakey, wakey. Yeah, it was worth it. It's a style that, what have I been doing? Yeah, so you can see this is the sort of final version. Final, probably never quite final version. And then if I open up the screenshot. So it's a game called Ghost of Yote. It's a samurai, and you play as like a female Ronin sort of samurai-ish character. Anyway, swords and weapons, 1600s Japan. Really cool. And in the game itself, some of the sort of story segments have that, you know, that like amazing, it's always like used in like sort of more Eastern explanations of something or storytelling, where it would be like, I don't know, like tea-stained paper, and then you get the ink blotches and the ink paints out the story. It's just flipping lush. I love that style. So it was very much like that, and I took a screenshot of it and just thought, wow, this is so cool. In fact, have I got it? I might have the screenshot I can show you. And I was like, oh, God, I wonder how on earth would you create that without any sort of talent and skill as effectively like a concept artist or someone, you know, I'm not an ink person at all. I'm a Photoshop guy. And so I ChatGPT'd it, and it gave me the sort of instructions that I would expect, you know, black and white, bump your levels, then use brushes to blah, blah, blah. But there is a brush set. This is a secret, right? And I'll throw this in the chat. If you're on Envato, these are the brushes that make it so much easier. These brush strokes. So I don't know a lot about this, so anyone who does, you can feel free to laugh at me. But Sumi-e is this sort of brushed style. So if we go Sumi-e art, which I think is like a Japanese style of art, it's like very like minimal brush strokes. In fact, they've got this in the game as well. There's little sections where you have to paint and you have to swipe the touchpad on the controller and it does these little drawings. Stuff like this. So this is like, I guess more traditional Sumi-e style. I might even be saying it wrong. I got no idea. It's just really, yeah, something about it that's really cool. And very simple. And so I was sort of taking that style and using these brushes and a few ink spatter brushes and other bits and pieces. Let's copy that link. Yeah, I just thought let's just have a bit of a play, and I did this one first of all. This is version 1. So this is kind of like a sort of sword strike and the swords behind her. And it was like, oh, wow. Oh, this looks all right, Dan. Okay. And this isn't the first time I've done this. Like, I was going to get something on my phone, wasn't I? I've done this before. So there was actually I've got two versions. I'll show you. I did this years ago, actually. Very similar, but not quite in the same way with the brush strokes. But let me just find them. They're on my Instagram somewhere. Where are ye? Scrolling down. Oh my goodness. Cool. My Instagram is a bit of a lucky dip, isn't it? Ah, there we go. Right, so this is, I'll show you these. This is one. Kind of different, but you'll sort of see the similarities. And two. Oh, someone sent me a message. Who's that? Is it Poppy? What does she want? Just sent me a stupid video. So, where am I? So these are. I feel in a bit of a silly mood today. Just a forewarning. Yeah, so I did this ages ago. This is like me making a dig at everyone being obsessed with social media. Like, likes, my eyes are bleeding blue, Facebook ink or something. And this one here, which is just a picture of a kind of, don't know, person's face looking very intense, very slightly upset, actually, a bit disgruntled, you might say, with some cool brush slashes and everything. So yeah, there was, yeah, obviously you can see very different style, very more spatter led. But I did these like years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. Quite different to this. So this is sort of a mix of that sort of Sumi-e style with a photo. So I was originally going to do, and we might still do this at some point. This is the kind of retouched artwork version. So I was going to take a screenshot and then like enhance it in all sorts of weird and wonderful ways. We've done that before a bit. So this is another photo that I took in Ghost of Yote. A lot of games have got like a photo mode and you can almost walk around like a virtual photographer and take photos of like the sunset and the landscape. It's kind of insane actually. And this game's got like a stunning world, very like stylized, beautiful world. But yeah, that's the kind of photo version. And I just thought, you know what, let's do something a bit different, Dan. Let's go for something a bit more artsy fancy. So that's kind of where we ended up. You've been playing Doom 3. Oh my goodness. I've not played any of the Dooms ever, not even the modern ones. Critter having a Sumi-e brush. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, what you? Sorry, you want me to share this screenshot? Yeah, sure. So I've linked the brushes. Kerry, what are you posting? Ginge. Yes, give me a sec. I'll just stick it in the Discord. So if anyone wants to follow along. I'll find it momentarily. My brain is just booting up. There you go. Picture in the Discord. And then, yeah, the brushes are linked there. I'll post them in the Discord again as well. Copy link address. Nope, that's not the link. Oh dear, what's happening? Right, there we go. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. Yeah, so there's the brushes. And that's a really good starting point. Obviously, go crazy, download spatter brushes, grunge brushes. You can see I've got like distressed textures. There is like a card paper texture in there as well. And there's a really cool technique to blend all of this black ink style through onto the paper. So we will go through all of this, but I need an image first of all. And I was trying to take another one last night. I got a few. I got a few screenshots, but I don't know. It's the same character. It's very similar. So I don't know whether to do it again. Actually, I took some last night. Where are you? See if I can get them onto my computer. I want to find the right picture before going ahead and doing this. Yeah, I got a bunch here. So we could do that one. It's just very same character, slightly different pose, different armor set. Yeah, so I'll just fire these onto my computer and show you, and then... Or if there's another video game, that would be really cool. We could generate like a picture. I mean, I could go into the photo mode, but I've not found the time to do that yet. So we could just generate a character, or it could be anything really. It could be we could do a medieval knight. I mean, heck, we can go to any time period, I guess. We could do like a Templar from Assassin's Creed or something. Full on knight, medieval style. That could be kind of cool. Actually, that would be pretty sick, wouldn't it? So maybe we'll have a play with both. But yeah, these are the other images. So yeah, there's a few of these. They're kind of cool. This is the main character. Hey, Andrea. Oh, thanks, Andrea. Hi, Andrea. Bye, Andrea. Hey, Pixel. How's it going? What was the character I just said? Oh yeah, Templar. Let's try Envato. Because even though this is just a screenshot from a game, it's not, you know, video games are only going to be such like a certain level of quality. It doesn't matter too much. Where's the flipping image thing? Where's V2? There you are. Yeah, there is a V2 image gen, by the way. So if I were to generate a photo of a Templar knight wearing armor and a helmet, wielding a massive great sword on plain light grey background. I mean, I suppose doing this, you kind of get to see the full process. You can use photos, you can use screenshots from video games, you can use AI, you can just use anything to generate like a character. And it's going to be super stylized anyway. So we're just using this as a basis. Micro Knight. That's probably a bit closer. Don't know what this is. This is like a knight invades the world of the flumps. That is a flump color palette. We're going to look up flump. Hopefully it's nothing rude. This is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, look. That knight has definitely gone to the land of flump. That looks a bit sus. That looks like Barry. That looks like your old mate Bazza. Geezer from down the road has put on the knight armor, and he knows he shouldn't, but he put it on anyway. He looks a little bit sus there. Sorry, Barry. Hey, Eli. Oh my goodness, we've got like Darth Knight there. That is really cool. This is probably a little bit closer to what we're going to try and create. I do like that style though. Oh, I didn't put medieval. You silly sausage. Medieval. In fact, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write a proper prompt. Write this up as a detailed prompt. Night from Assassin's Creed style. Yeah, we've got to get a good photo before we do this. And the composition, like the framing and everything, needs to be really good as well. The actual technique itself is really easy. On a technical level, anyway. Right, let's get some music going. Generate me my night. Oh, look at that one. He's got his sword freestanding. That is what I wanted. That is more what I wanted. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that. I mean, as much as I like the freestanding sword, I think it makes more sense to have them holding the sword. I've got an idea. Depiction of a fantasy Templar knight wearing full heavy dragon plate armor with a closed helmet and amazing dragon inspired detailing on the armor. Let's just kind of go. Let's go the whole hog with it, yeah. I mean, there's so much you could do. You could do like an elven archer. You could do all sorts. Oof, that looks pretty cool. What have I done to my iTunes? I've shrunk it into a tiny little window and I don't know how to get it back. What the hell have I done? Help. I clicked a thing and now it's all small. This is such terrible design. Like, why is that? Like, if there's a button to make it small, where's the button that does the opposite of that? This is such an Apple thing to do. Like, ugh. Yeah, there we go. Music. So stupid. Got the minimize option, but no, like, just put it back to normal. Silly. Right. Hey, Moosh. No. It's I'm busy tomorrow. I got haircuts and other things going on tomorrow afternoon, so we just switched into a Monday for this week. This one's kind of cool. Yeah, again, he's got his floating sword. Oh, he's unsheathing his sword from his sword. It's pretty impressive. That's pretty good. That could be a maybe. This one's quite cool as well. Ah, it's hard. Maybe that one. We'll give it a go. Right. Edit. And we'll upscale. So we'll try this one first. Maybe like an elven archer as well. By the way, if anyone's got any ideas, or if you've played video games or movies, it could be movies as well. It could be a character from a movie. It will download you. Let's do prompt for elven archer. We'll try a few. ChatGPT is great for writing prompts for like AI image generators, because it's like you get the AI to write you a detailed prompt, and it's, or you can upload an image to ChatGPT and say, write this in prompt form and describe it in great detail, and then just punch that in. It's super useful. Yeah, square's fine. Oh, we're going to go for 9 variations because I'm cheeky. Hey, Reese. How's it going, man? Oh, 8-hour class. Goodness me. That's kind of cool. Reminds me of Matt Smith a little bit. Guy who played Doctor Who, pivoted to being an elf. Actually, I swear he did something where he played an elf. What was that TV show he was in? Oh yeah, House of the Dragon. That was it. A dragon would be good. We could just do a dragon. Mortal Kombat! Yes, but okay, which character? Are we going to do Scorpion, or I used to play Scorpion and Katana, sometimes Johnny Cage a bit. Scorpion or Sub-Zero, they're pretty iconic, aren't they? Sub-Zero. I got an idea. Oh man, this is insane. We'll see what Invato does. If it knows what, we'll try Scorpion, because you know he's got his like get over here kind of thing, like the, what is it, like the little spiky thing on the end of the rope, whatever weapon that is. I've got no idea. Lost so much time. Soccer, work, life. We need more time, don't we? Back to some normal schedule. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was what, like, you mean like in his hand, like Spider-Man kind of like embedded in there. Oh, look at that. I mean, that's too artistic already. But some of these are better than others. But this mini Scorp. Yeah, it's like a chain, I think. I need it as a photo though. Yeah, this could be really good actually. Scorpion is a badass character. He's fatality'd himself there. Whoops. Easy mistake to make. That is a very cool pose. I don't know who that is. It's not Scorpion. But it's, yeah, it's interesting. I got a slightly better prompt here. We'll try this. Just give it a sec. In fact, no, let's do 6 variations because I think it takes a while to generate them all. So we'll just try and get a good image because then we can kind of get on with the fun stuff. Oh, was it actually in his hand? Oh, the original movie. Yeah, wow, there's effects. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking more like the video games where it's a chain with like it's a kunai. Yeah, it's a throwing knife on the end. These are wild. I'll tell you what, actually. Um, Scorpion Mortal Kombat. Please don't be like violent, Google. If we can get a good picture, we can add this in. That is pretty cool. If we save that, we can then maybe if we go to just Scorpion in the village. If we just pick this one, for example, and then we go to edit with Nano Banana, or just upload this one. Where's it gone? There you are. Scorpion. We'll grab the prompt and see if it uses that as a like a reference to do something similar. Yeah, that's a bit more Scorpion. I don't know what he's doing with that chain there. You could easily take the chain out, but yeah, that is a lot more Scorpion. Nice. See if we can get something. Yeah, Nano Banana is pretty interesting. I wonder if we could add another pose to it. This is a good one. What's his real name? Hanzo. Is it Hanzo Hasashi or something? I don't know. Might have made that up and mixed movies together, but so you can add up to 3 reference images. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So you kind of get to use a prompt, but you can also guide it with visuals of things you like. So the other day I turned myself into a samurai. I uploaded a big full close up of my face so it could see who I was. Then I uploaded a picture of a samurai in a certain pose and it put the 2 and 2 together, and some of the results were pretty insane. This one is pretty good. So what we can actually do, this could be useful, is we could add that as a reference. So if you get a decent generation, just use that as a reference. And then we can also delete references as well, and then see what difference, if any, it makes. Because these are all very similar. Oh, that's kind of cool. The way the chain whips around. It's broken off. It must be like a Timu chain or something. Right, so we've got Templar, or good old Scorp with his broken chain. got this one. Or where's the other one? I mean, that's a bit more fantasy, I think. Okay, right. We'll do a little poll. Revealing Finder. Okay. Right. Right, let's open these up. There we go. Let's just move it up there. Right. Let's just do a poll and then we'll do whichever one wins. Which one shall we use? Scorpion. Let's put samurai or knight. Because I don't mind. We could do the Scorpion or the Templar, or we could do another samurai one. It's pretty split. It's pretty split. We'll just give it a couple minutes and I'll Oh, this is going to be fun. By the way, if anyone does want to learn Photoshop with me, beginner, advanced, whatever it is, or Illustrator as well, I teach both apps from beginner to the most advanced that I can teach. So I've been using both for 20 years. I've been doing this design thing for a while. If you want to learn with me, there's a link where you can check out all my courses, and all of them come with support from me. So if you get stuck, you got questions, you get me on hand to help out. All right, it's looking like it might be the knight. Who needs a name? Maybe Steve. Steve the knight. Any more votes? Come on, we got 16 votes and 55 people watching. Come on, let's get some more votes. Just a few more. There we go. Oh, it's neck and neck. All right, we'll do 30. I'm going to do a timer. Set a timer for 30 seconds. So whatever's leading when the timer goes off, we'll run with that. Oh my god, it's neck and neck again. It's going to be the samurai or the knight, isn't it? Which one's it going to be? We will see. Knight. Knight it is. Oh, right. Come on then, Steve the Knight. Okay, right. Thank you, everyone. Let's get rid of that and get into it. So, all right, we'll see how this goes. I've done this on a couple images so far, but you know, every image is different, so we're going to see what happens. Right, first thing is we've got to just cut the character out. Now, because of the style, we don't need to pen tool this. We can do select subject. Photoshop nowadays is really good at doing a selection. Apart from here, it's a bit sloppy, but we can easily just, we can go and refine that with the quick selection tool. And this is why I do any generations on a plain background, because it just makes cutting out super simple. A little bit there. Yeah, so we're not going to spend too long on it, but the fact that we're not pen tooling it, we can afford ourselves a little bit of time just to clean up the selection. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me show you that I'm going to make these 9 blocks. So you see these blocks.
What have you been making?
So got blocks and I'm going to make this alien thing.
That is very good.
Alien.
That is utterly terrifying. I will not sleep for a week.
What?
You are dismissed.
It's mad alien.
I'm sure it is a mad alien. It's like you, innit? You're a mad alien.
Like,
Bye, Eli.
me.
Can you shut the door, please?
Why, butler?
Butler. Not your bloody butler, kid. What was he on about? Crazy child. Right, why is my stylus going funny? Full area, monitor 2. There you are. Okay, cool. Right, got a selection. Going to add a layer mask. Night. Smart object, and we got to set our document up. I like a good 3:4 ratio portrait, so we'll try that and see how it goes. Oh god, not this stupid thing. Watch this. It's probably not going to do it now. Yeah, look, did you see that? Did you see that? I'll see if it does it again. Put my dimensions in. Yeah, it usually does it twice. And then it stops. So irritating. I don't know why it does that. Does anyone else get that? I get it in Photoshop and Illustrator. It was like introduced in 2024 or something. Never happened before. And all of a sudden, I have to like enter my document 3 times. It's like, how is this a thing? Other people get this as well. Moosh, I put my width and height in and it resets it. But it's totally random. There's no logic to it. Yeah, it's so bad. It is so bad. How did this not get picked up by QA? Like, what the hell? It won't do it again if I try and show you. That's the problem. So what happens is, let's just say I type in a new value here. It will reset itself. Yeah, so it's not going to do it now. I've tried getting it on screen capture and it never does it. And it always does it a couple times and then it just forgets. But it does it in Illustrator as well. And I don't know why. Yeah, are you on Mac, Moosh? Yeah, I'm on Mac. Oh, maybe you're on like a US version that actually works and we've got the EU version or something. Because it's been going on for like, I don't understand how this has not been fixed. It's like been drives me insane. Right, now we've got to try and frame this. This is probably one of the most important things to get right. I mean, we could even actually, he looks like he needs to stand on something. I feel like this fella needs, we could even use some sort of backdrop maybe. I don't know, this might not fit and we have just cut him out, but I just feel like he needs to stand on something. So we could just, oh no, he's floating now. Whoops. So I think we're going to have his feet off the side. Do you know what I mean? Like we're going to have to go with a crop, something like this. It's tricky because he's got the sword though. So it's kind of like, how do you crop it? Or do we go with a square? Height 4,000. Maybe a square would be a better fit. Possibly, yeah. What's super rude? Yeah, this is just like an AI image, but you could do this with a photo or a screenshot or anything. Generate a background. I mean, with this sort of crop, you could. Oh, I thought you meant I thought you meant me. I was like, if I said something, what? Phew. I'll stick him in the countryside. Actually, no, it doesn't make sense to show the Tory gate. Yeah, he took a wrong turn and now he's ended up in Japan. Okay, we'll keep a bit of landscape in there, but we might not use that. Right, so first things first, we want to make this fella black and white. So we'll go in the smart object. We're going to just strip out the color. And then we're going to go to levels. And what we want to do is try and remove as much of the grey as possible. I mean, you can keep some grey for shading, but I'm going to strip it out. So I'm going to push the shadows and the highlights closer together. And it's just going to remove the grey in the image. We don't want to do anything too bad that's going to like destroy the image though. So this is a little bit of a balancing act. And here, this is really cool actually. So here you can see by moving these around where the detail is going to be. So if I'm looking at the armor around the hip and the knee here, if I just zoom in, it's quite grey at the minute. So I'm going to push the whites up and you see the part of the cloak and this bit, it just gets accentuated more. Now that might be a little bit too pronounced. We can always come back and change this. So yeah, we'll start with that and we'll see how it goes. So we'll just save and close. And then that is our night. So down here, you can see we've lost a bit of detail here, which is fine. We could go and add that back in, which I think I will do actually. Just that one bit really stood out to me as being odd. So what we want to do as well is we want to make sure we're working with black and white. Now, hopefully if you've squished your levels together enough, if we use the eyedropper tool, we should be able to go over this, and you see it should be 0000000, which is black, and this is white. It just makes it easier when we come to the next step, working with complete black and complete white, rather than different shades of grey, and then it will look weird. So as long as we know we've got black and white, that's what we're working with. It's just going to make things a lot easier. So I'm going to try, this is a cool trick. We'll grab the pen tool, and we're just going to pen tool down this edge and just connect it up. And then with my brush tool, we want to set the size. So we're going to match my brush size to this. So what's that? 2. Switch back to the pen tool, and then right click, go stroke the path, and we're going to stroke it with the brush tool. You can simulate pressure and it will taper off or I've try again. You can simulate pressure and it will taper off at either end. Oh yeah, if I'm ever rude, Mooch, it's either accidental or I'm just taking the piss and being sarcastic. And you can see it's like added that stroke down there. We probably need to go a bit thicker actually. So let's undo it. Select the path, go back, and then change the brush size. So sometimes it might take 1 or 2 goes to get it right. Whoops. We'll stroke the path, use the brush. Now I've done it too bloody thick, haven't I? For goodness sake. Ah! Alright, come on then. Third time is the charm. Nice. Path, deselect. It looks a bit fluffy around the edge, but if we duplicate it, it will beef itself up a bit. So, yeah, there we go. Just merge them all together. So we have the sword edge. That just kind of stood out to me a little bit. Right. Yeah, I think position-wise we're pretty good there. Feels nice and balanced. Sometimes it is just changing the aspect ratio as well. Like the samurai one I showed you, oh, let's call it night. The samurai one I showed you, that was originally a landscape, 4K kind of 16:9 ratio. And it did look good. But as soon as I switched it to the portrait one, it was like, oh yeah, this is some poster level shit. This is cool. Have you done the washing? Have you done the washing up? No, I have not. Right. So now what we've got to do, and this is the bit that is technically easy, but can be very easily mucked up. So we have to alter option, click on the mask icon, and it will make a new blank mask. And then we go and install our Sumi-e brushes. They come in 2 versions, these ones. You've got some that are 2,500 pixels, and you've got higher res ones that are 5,000 pixels. And we've got 82 of them. Now to start, I would pick one that doesn't have like a hard edge. So something maybe like this. I'll scale it down. Yeah. And we can just stamp it in. Now, at first, if you're doing this for the first time, you won't know what you're doing. And arguably I don't as well. So it's all very random. There's no thought to the direction or anything. But as we get into it, you'll see that it's quite important to stamp in, change the brush and stamp in certain brushes in certain directions to match the flow of materials and things. So we might, yeah, let's try this. Then we'll switch to black. So black removes, white stamps in. So we can just start to take some of the little details around the edge. And just switching between black and white, we can then try and recreate some of these details. You see there? So at first, you might find that you start stamping and it looks a bit rubbish. Don't worry about it. It is very much a more it is a sort of artistic process. Like it's very, like I said this to you yesterday, Rako. It's very technically easy because it is just do the black and white and then stampy stamp. But it's then making it look good. That's where there is some degree of, dare I say, skill involved. And we can just use it to add like a little bit of texture on certain elements, or like maybe that's like a chip or a scratch or a glint off his sword. So I'm trying not to place things randomly. I'm trying to actually sort of, like you see here, like I'm just using the edge just to add a bit of texture. And you'll stamp in things, like you'll go a bit too stampy with it, and sometimes it's just the wrong brush. And sometimes the brush you use will fit perfectly. Yeah, so that could be like highlighting on his pauldron. But then we'll switch to another brush and let's try something a bit different. And this is just the first step as well. There's another step in a minute that will make a big difference as well. Yeah. Oh, that could look kind of cool. You can see all the brushes have got different textures. So here, like, you can rotate the brush using the left and right arrow keys. So maybe I'll rotate it around here and I'll go make it a bit bigger. And you can see it actually matches kind of the shape a little bit as well. So maybe let's get rid of that. We'll just... And sometimes it is just a case of rotating the brush. We could flip it up the other way. We could shrink it down. So yeah, like I said, don't be discouraged if you don't smash this first time. It is a very... If you rush this part of the process, unless you're like a pro. Yeah, like that. Look at that. Oh, it's almost like trying to simulate, instead of these clean lines, we're trying to simulate brush strokes as if it was created more traditionally. And I think if you're an artist, you probably, well, you're obviously going to be way better than me at this. You see there? Just bringing back certain little pieces. So if we go and look at the before and the after, this is what we've done to it so far. So we've just started to grunge it up a little bit. Now there is something we could try actually before we get too into it. Obviously we've got like a lot of clean line work here. We could try and use a displacement map with some high values and a nice gritty grungy texture. Do you see what I mean? So as a starting point, because it does physically displace it as well, so you want to do that early on before you start doing too much brush stuff. But you can see already, you see this symbol here, the Templari symbol? Clean and slightly pixelated, hidden, masked with grungy distressedness. And I kind of like that actually. I like that sort of style. It gives it a little bit more of a kind of more inked style. Really, honestly, that thing I just used there is like amazing for lettering. If you take some text, convert to a smart object, and do an insane displacement map, instant grunge. Start adding brushes, just like we're doing here, and you can create the most insane text effects. Same process. So yeah, we'll do that early on though, because it does quite literally displace the whole image and move it around. So I probably now need to resize and reposition it to account for that. So let's just make sure we do get it in the right spot. I think that looks good. Okay, so we could obviously we're going to go back. We're going to do loads more brushwork. But the next step, instead of just masking details like we're doing here, we're just kind of. So what's this bit? This is his cape, I think, or something. And we want to define his arm a little bit more as well. So we're just gonna. You see there? We've just his arm's a bit more defined now. And obviously we're just getting rid of some of that repetition. This is like cloth material as well. So maybe we do actually want to just do a bit of this. And I think the next step will be, we'll do a much better job actually of finishing this off. But yeah, we're just sort of adding, making it almost look like bits of cloth. And you don't want to stamp it like this, so it just looks repeated. It's got to be random. Otherwise it can just look very fake and stampy. So yeah, we'll go to the next step, but we're going to come back to this. So next, we need to add a new layer and make sure we're using black and white. This is why we want to work with black and white, because we're not picking shades of grey or anything by mistake. And then we could pick another brush, and now we can start adding details. You can send this layer underneath as well if you don't want to cover up any of the white. So maybe we do one underneath. Make it just look like a bit of a material tear or something. Shrink. So we're shrinking the brush, we're rotating them. So then we switch back to the mask here to remove something. Oh, that looks kind of cool. I might just trim that bit away. And then in here, I kind of want to make a gap in there as well, so you can kind of define the arm a little bit more. So let's just try and kind of figure this out. So got something like this. And I'm doing this very quickly and lazily at the minute, but that'll do for now, maybe. Something like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. And you've kind of lost some of the detail here as well. So you can go back in there and add more lines, or with the levels bring a bit more grey. To rotate the brush, you've got left and right on the keyboard, or hold shift and do it, and it will rotate in bigger increments. Hey, Kyle. The fire brushes. Yeah, it's very similar to that lesson. Obviously, the fire, obviously totally different, but it's sort of a similar process in that we are using brushes to create a specific style. So the fact, Kerry, that you've gone through that process of using the brushes, if you wanted to try this, you've already got experience doing this, even if it's slightly different. And sometimes you'll find a brush that is just like this one here I'm using now is really good. You'd be amazed how much variation you get rotating, resizing. All right, let's try another one. This one's really cool. Is it this one? And you can make new layers if you're not sure about something as well. Yeah, this one's a proper stroke brush. This is cool. So we could, you see how I was saying we've lost some detail there? We could actually use this to add the detail back in, like a brush stroke. Got to get the angle right. Now I've brushed in a bunch of random black, so just make sure you do get rid of it if you don't want it there. I could do it up here as well, actually. Let's line you up. Yeah. Oh, nice. And then maybe even off the... Got to think about where I want it and why. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could use this to represent, like in the first samurai one, it was like a blood sort of slice, if you like. We could actually make a new layer, stamp it, and then we can flip it and rotate it and reposition it just like a regular layer. So yeah, maybe I'll do something up here as if it's almost like blood coming down. And then we could brush it away. You see what I mean? And then we go, that layer just introduces that texture to the sword. This bit here needs some work. And we can use white as well. We can brush in with white. Just like that. We're trying to make it all make sense though. So, ooh, that looks kind of cool. That could work. And we got there. And then brush some black back in there to reconnect it. That could work. It could be, yeah. You could use this if you wanted to tell a specific story with this art style. You could definitely do that. Yeah, this brush is just fantastic. This is why I love doing this with video game stuff. Because the samurai one I did, like I know who the character is, I know the story. So it's like I've got an understanding of that connection. This all this artistic stuff, like this is will never ever really like forced with me. I always do this. I do this for like enjoyment and just the fun of it, like the passion. Um, so cool. It's got like a little spike on his head. We can give him a little. Actually, no, we'll leave that for now. Obviously, we don't want to overuse this brush at the same angle. But yeah, like very much when I design stuff, it's more functional, solve a problem, use that skill set. When it's art stuff, I do it just for fun, and when it happens, I can't force it. So at the minute, we're still brushing white. We can use it to shape that part of the arm as well there. God, he's got a bloody massive forearm, hasn't he? Someone's been going to the gym. Down here, so yeah, we're just going around. I mean, look at the difference so far. It's probably quite hard to see without everything, but that's where we started. No, it's not. That's where we started. Displacement map. Brushing into it and removing bits, and then we're going back in and just adding loads of detail on separate layers. So we're masking, we're adding black, and we're adding white. This is coming together quite well, actually. I don't want to sound too surprised, but it's, you know, it's going all right. It's going all right. And we'll go to black. We'll stamp that in again. God, I flipping love this brush. The ones you use as well that are your favorites. Oh yeah, look at that. It just sort of continues that Templar symbol almost perfectly. And then when you've got your favorite brushes, you can you favorite? I probably should do, but I don't. You got recent brushes up there, but that's useless and not really long enough. Is there a way to favorite? If there isn't, that is a real missed opportunity. I mean, you could just put them into a group, I suppose, but yes. Okay, so right, how do I explain displacement maps? So a displacement map, if you've used 3D software, what you can do is you could have, let's just say you've got a sphere, right? And you've got a sphere and you want to add a displacement map to the sphere to make it lumpy bumpy, big lumpy bumpy, like a big lump of rock or something. 3D software will use black, white, and all the grey in between to determine the height of certain things. So I forget how it works. White is like the highest, black will be the lowest, and then grey in between represents different heights. So if I brush in loads of black and loads of white like this, and then I save this out as a file that can be used as a displacement map in 3D software, you might be able to use a PNG actually, I'm not sure. It will then it will adjust the geometry so the white, it will wrap this image around the sphere or around the 3D object, and then it will displace based on whether it's white and it will be displaced more, or black where it won't be displaced at all. So that's kind of in theory how displacement maps work. In Photoshop it's kind of similar. We do cover this in the Photoshop course masterclass, I think, but we're using it more in a two-dimensional sense. So the image that I was using for displacement was this. It's always a good one. But you can use any black and white image. And so what it does, you see all this gritty, grungy stuff here. The black areas just leave the image alone, but all of the little specks of white and grey and all these little grainy granules of loveliness, those lighter areas are used to quite literally displace the image. So I think when I displaced it, you get to put in a vertical and horizontal value. I think I went for 100 and 100. So that's why when I did the displacement map, you saw the whole thing shift down to the right. That was quite literally 100 pixel displacement. But it doesn't displace everything, only these lighter areas. So that's why you get the grungy look, is because it's just displaced part of the image. And you can use this to mock up. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But you can use this to mock up all sorts of things as well. So we cover that a bit more in the course. But if you've got like a hoodie with some clothing and you've got creases and folds, you've effectively got your whites, your greys, and your blacks in those creases and folds on the material. So you can make the image black and white, or switch it to grayscale here. In fact, I think they have to be in grayscale. Color profile. Save it as a PSD. then you can use that, or this, as you can see here, as a displacement map. So let's just say you had loads of those gritty grunge textures. You can use anything as a displacement map. We could go and make one now, actually. Just, I mean, why not? Let's just try it. Let's just go to Unsplash. I'll show you. Yeah, it's a really cool feature. I did not know this for most of my career. So let's go black and white texture. You can obviously make it black and white yourself. This could be nice. In fact, no, let's go for a brush stroke texture. Brush strokes, yes. Could be interesting. You can't, until you use it, you don't really know what you're going to get. Oh, look at you. Let's cover our night in paint. We'll give this a go. So we open the image. We're going to grayscale it. We can then adjust levels to, remember, we're using black and white, so we could make it more pronounced. So we'll do this and that. It's more contrast. And then we'll save it as a PSD file. We'll just call it displace one. We can now use this as a displacement map. So we can take good old Nighty Night and we can just go and add another displacement on top. We'll go with 100 and 100 again, because why not? Displace one, and let's just see what it does. That, which isn't helpful. So we can double click the displacement. We can try again, and we'll do 10 and 10, so it's a bit more subtle. And then we could turn the first one off. So some give slightly better results than others. Let's go for no horizontal, but we'll do a vertical of 10. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And we had some other images, didn't we? This one's, I like this one. I don't know if it'll be any good, but we'll try it. So, I think we'll stick more to the top part. We'll crop that off. Again, levels. Bring the white up a bit and the black down. We'll go grayscale. Displace 2. And we'll try this. I'll go and add a third displacement. We'll do 30 and 30. I'm just picking random values to... Oh, no, right. I saved it as a JPEG. Whoops. So save it as a PSD. And now I can go and use it as a displacement map. See, it's obviously all starting to get a little bit much together, but we can turn certain ones off and on. So we'll go 0 and 10 again. Maybe 20. So yeah, it does take a lot of playing around to try and sort of get the right result. Yeah, that's all right. I just phrase the edges a little bit. It's pretty subtle. We'll get rid of that middle one. When you stack too many displacement maps, it can slow things down a bit. But these displacement effects are now in the document. So if you delete those displaced PSD files on the desktop, it won't affect your file, but you will need them if you want to go and re-add or edit the displacement amount. And what we can do as well, actually, we do have a smart filter here. So all of this displacement, we can actually... Oh no, we don't want to do that actually, because there's a displacement. I was going to say we could brush away from it, but we definitely don't want to do that. In fact, something else we're going to do as well is I always love to do this. And this is very sort of reminiscent of that Sumi-e style as well. There we go. We're going to have a splash of colour. And then we're just going to use black again to kind of just brush away the bits we don't want. Adjust the rotation. Again, I didn't know that for years. Oh, you have no idea how long I did not know about all this stuff. About rotating brushes and everything. This is why I teach this in the course, even just the first course. Because I didn't know about it. It was so flippin' long. Oh, good lord. Yeah, look at that. I mean, wow, it's so cool. And then you could use like a multiply if you wanted. I might leave it front and center. We've got other blending techniques we'll use soon. In fact, no, we'll use them now. Let's grab the other file. How did I do it? Yeah, here we go. I'm just going to grab it from the other file and I'll show you how to put it all together. So this is our background. There's an image here from Unsplash as well. So basically what this is it's just a paper texture. Nothing fancy. It's like some sort of recycled cardboard wrapping. We've grayscaled it and we've used curves to adjust the contrast. So the curves line is like lifting the midtones and lightening it up and then just keeping it super papery. Oh, hello. Child's back. I'm busy sitting here with the keyboard shortcuts for rotating brushes. Did you know about them before? Mate, for years, right? For years, I would do this, go up here, and then grab this little doodah, this little gizmo, and rotate there, and then do some stuff, and then go back and rotate. Oh, well, I am very pleased to be able to bring rotation of brushes into your life, sir. Yeah, I know, it's just hilarious. It's what I love about this design thing. I'm always learning stuff. I'm like, what the hell? How did I not know that? Quick, don't tell anyone. Just act like you know everything ever. One thing I should have done, and I've not done, is I should label which layers are black and white. That's a good idea. I didn't do this in my other file. And this one here is black and white. Good job, Dan. You've really screwed yourself there. So we'll do that from now on. And that is quite important. And you'll see why soon. Whoops. Way around that. Maybe... I've got an idea. What I'll do is... How do I isolate that? Yeah, if I just get rid... I'll get rid of the white using some other messy brush. Let's just get rid of the white. This will fix the problem. Then I can label that as a black layer and be done with it. Oh, there's a bit in there as well.
Hello.
Oh, hello, puppy. My darlings.
Oh, how's everyone doing?
Yeah.
All doing?
Oh, we great. We great.
That's cool.
Hmm?
That's cool.
Yeah. They voted on doing a knight, so we're doing a knight.
Nice and
It's called Steve.
Aww. Steve.
Steve.
Hi, Raquel.
Oh, thank you, Reese. I'm a hero. What are you sniggering for?
I need a hero.
Yeah, so that would be really cool to colour the cross in red. I mean, yeah, actually, you could add colour anywhere, really. You could colour the whole armor set, or
You're going crazy yet?
me.
Oh, that's a job.
No, I think I've been relatively, what's the word?
Sticky bum bum.
Relatively normal.
Flavor. Chicky bum bum.
I'm taking this cheeky bomb in there.
Chicky bum bum.
Right. So having the black and the white elements sort of separate is gonna be quite important, because then what we do is go into the blending options for, let's say, the black, and is it that one? Or is it the other one? Oh. Ah, yeah, there we go. No, that's not it. There we go. Yeah, it didn't update. So you hold Alt or Option. If you don't, you'll get this. Oh, I think it's being really slow. Yeah, obviously that looks awful. So we hold Alt or Option and we just separate it. And what this does is it lets the texture from underneath just creep through the black. So it kind of turns it into like a slightly off black color. And we could even bring the white down as well. Obviously you can go quite extreme with this. And there we go. If we just let through a few details from the background texture, before, after, it just gives it such a cool style. And so anything we place in this folder, remember, we still want to work with just black or white, but anything that gets added in this folder is going to be have those blending options applied. So if I brush in here with solid black, you can see it's got that same quality. Actually, what on earth is this brush I picked up? Could we use this? I mean, we could do a bit of brushy. This is something I've not even really explored much. Is actually just using actual brushes to add texture. This is kind of next on my list, actually, to try this a bit more. And the white. Oh, the white's looking... yeah, there we go. Oh, no. Multiply, there we go. Yeah, so that blends the lighter areas. So what happens if we go and add white in here? Yeah, so you can still go and use white, but it just brings the background through. Yeah, so got to use some of these brushes very carefully. But you can see, you can just use them to just add little bits of texture. In fact, we've got spatter brushes as well. Got loads of these beauties down here. We'll add another black layer, and we'll just... stamp a bit of this in. There we go. And you just, yeah, you really can have so much fun with this. Let's go. Ooh, what about this one? So rotate the brush to match the angle of the clothing. and we'll need to apply it on the I've got to find which layer it is. We might have to do it here actually. It does get a little bit confusing with the layers, knowing which one to chop out from, that you could see there, just given the whole thing a very splatterlicious texture. And if a brush doesn't give you like a clear enough picture, just stamp it a couple times in the same spot. Do another layer. Let's give you a little fist stamp. There we go. Nice. Oh, you look formidable, sir. Stamp across his face. Yeah, oh. That looks a bit rubbish on the sword. What have I done there? It does become a little bit of a game trying to find... there we go. Which... which bits are on which. Oh yeah, I've balls that up, haven't I? I've added some circular bits on the sword that look a bit rubbish, so I'm just going to go in and just... There we go. We don't want that. Oh, good. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is. So we could, yeah, I mean, we could go in and add a landscape. I've not really tried this with a landscape yet, but we have this from the game. So let's do the same thing. Hue saturation, levels, and we'll see what sort of detail we can get. Maybe maybe the tree. If we can somehow get rid of the Tory gate. There we go. I've just shifted it inside the folder now. Yeah, that could be the edge of a building. If we keep that bit there, so we don't have the Tory gate. Could even try scaling it up, actually. And then move it to the top of the folder. And then multiply it. We want to get his hand in there. We don't want the tree to be in front of him. So it might have to make a selection of the subject and just, yeah, make sure the tree isn't actually going into his arm. So we're just going to manually retouch that a little bit. What's this? Is that a tree? Flipping X that. Is it this? There we go, yeah.
What?
He's got a tree.
Tree?
He's got a tree.
Right.
And down here... That could be grass texture. Yeah, that's quite nice. A little tree. And then the other side, we're going to have to duplicate this. We'll bring it over. So we get, I mean, do we want the landscape? Kind of hides the sword. Maybe for this one, we will, let's make a new copy. We can go inside here and we'll bump the contrast even more to get rid of the grays. There we go. So we're sort of using it more as like a framing device on the left and right. And you could try and put some mountains in the background if you wanted. I mean, maybe. Hmm. Do we use it along the bottom and have it like some bushes? Like he's stabbing his sword into a bush. It doesn't make sense, but I like it. I don't know. Maybe it was a formidable bush. The bush put up a fight and he was just not having any of it. And now he's triumphant. And we could, I mean, this is all coming together quite well actually. But what I would do is I would keep all this stuff separate. Like focus on the character first and then the details after. I mean, we could even add something a bit. We could go a little bit more radical with it all. We could add another layer, by the way, if we want to. When we start working with black, obviously it doesn't match. So what you do for any layers outside the group, you copy the layer style of the group and paste it onto that layer. So now everything we brush is going to have that same slightly off black gray texture. Let's try and go a bit overboard because doing this properly is a very slow process, and you do it carefully, blah blah blah. But in the interest of time, let's try and do something a bit more outrageous. I mean, we could give him a cloak. Give him a little cloak blowing in the wind. That might work actually. Have it going off. Have the brush going off the side. And then have another one on the underside on a new layer. And rotate it round. So it kind of looks like the cloak is sort of flipping over. And then obviously we've got to get rid of it off of his shoulder. So again, we're rotating the brush, we're shrinking it to try and match that. And then we could add some little rips in it and adjust the brush size. Then flip it around again, make it bigger, have some cut in some detail. Oops. There we go. Bit more cloak-like. And we can copy the same layer style, but we could make the underside of the cloak intentionally darker. Yeah, there we go. So we'll make it intentionally darker so it kind of looks a bit more like the underside. And I might keep that, I might not. I don't know. So sometimes when you use the brushes, you'll stamp the brush on too much of your artwork. You're just kind of using it for a little piece, and then you can just get rid of the rest. Oh, that's quite a nice edge actually. Oh, that is a. I think it is anyway. Hmm. Sometimes it does take a little bit of fiddling to get the right look. All right, let's try something else. And you can have this all running in the same way as well. Let's hide the cloak for a minute. We'll try this. So you can have the brush strokes. Deliberately. And sometimes, yeah, it does. You got to think about the direction of the material. Like it's almost like not the material. Sorry, it's almost like if you were actually going to paint this, and I don't know the painting process. Like I really don't for doing this sort of ink work, but you have to try and imagine if you were going to do this and paint it, what sort of strokes would you make? What direction would they be? Why would you be doing it? What's the purpose? Are we just literally stamping in randomly? Like, so yeah, sort of try and think about how you would brush each one. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much, Boy Dota. Yeah, I mean, you could do a background or something, some mountains in the distance. We could, I mean, we could try that. Why not? Oh, actually, in fact, I've got trees. We could try this. Same part of the game world. We'll see. Let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, it might look a bit not ideal. We'll try it anyway. Hmm. Yeah, it's a bit too. Kind of need. Let's go for like a mountain. But you need something with lots of contrast. So Yes. Something like that. We've got the shadowed bits, we've got the snowy peaks. This could be good. Even this. Oh. Oh, this. God, there's so many. I'm sport for choice. I'm going to go with this one. We'll try this. Yeah. Because with the contrast between the lark and light areas, the dark and light areas, that's where we get the detail. If you don't have the contrast, you can't really get the detail. So watch when I sort of pull these around. Nice. Copy that as a smart object, and then we are gonna chuck it in. Nice. Now we need to put it behind Monsieur Nightface and position the mountain. So where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go, Mr. Mountaineer? So we'll put it there, and then we're gonna add a layer mask to it, and then we're gonna bring back details in certain places. So we'll just try and figure out. We don't want to do it all over here because it just gets in the way of everything. So is there any up here? Any mountain up there? Yeah. So just there. So it's not going to interfere with the other detail. That's cool. And then now we've got the mask, we could actually move around. Oh, it does make it feel like a little bit fuller. We want to get the height right as well. I don't know if the tree's too low. And then what about down here? Then we could try and turn this one off. I mean, maybe the bush has to go, actually. I think the bush actually looks a bit weird. Could we stick the tree in the background? Yeah, maybe we could do something like this. We could just change history. So we'll have the Tory Gate in the background, and this will be the time that the Templars invaded Japan, which I don't think happened, but for the sake of today, we'll just rewrite a bit of history. It's not a problem. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, the perspective does look a bit odd. And I feel like this sort of, I prefer the subtle background like this because then it frames everything a bit more. But it also doesn't become too busy, like it lets the subject kind of stand out. The brushes are on Envato, so search for Sumi-e. You can find these. I mean, you might be able to find some online. This is the only set I could find on Envato. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could. What I would probably do is I would build out the design. So if you have like an idea in mind, start with the basics of photo manipulation. Get your images, cut them out, rearrange, compose. It's all about composition, and I've kind of just jumped into this head first with no idea what I'm doing. But yeah, I would take the time probably to compose the scene, and then you can work on the subject first, and then do the background after. But you kind of know where everything's gonna sit. Because I think if I did go with a 3-4 ratio like I did before, I just don't think it would have worked with him being taller and with the sword. Like his center mass, you could put that in the center, but then the sword's off center, but then you could off center him and then it just looked weird. Whereas I feel like for this particular image, the square aspect ratio is the right way to go. Or you could have gone wider as well, I think. In fact, something else, this is what I did on the other image as well. You know that gritty grunge texture that was a displacement map? We can literally just throw that on top of everything for added texture. So before and after, douche douche. It's pretty cool. And we can go into the background and we can make it lighter as well. So if we boost that. Oh, not like that. Okay, we can't. Maybe we can't do it that way because we've blended everything with very specific settings. So we probably might have to go and put one at the top to boost what's already there. Yeah, there we go. And if you wanted to, you could lighten the blacks even more, or you could darken them even more. So you still got like lots of control. But we'll turn that off for now. We'll just forget that's there, and then we'll just lift the grey at the end a bit. But yeah, it's come out pretty well actually. I'm just wondering if there's any other colour we could get in there. I mean, obviously the brush work, there's loads you can do to this. Absolutely frickin' loads. And sometimes you will find a brush and then you'll stamp it in and be like, oh my god, that was it. That was the missing thing all along. My life is now complete. I want to grab an especially crazy one. What about you? There we go. Beautiful. I mean, sometimes you can just literally do this and it looks it looks awesome. Just have like a bunch of brushwork coming up. Or what we could do is we could use this brush I'm using here to simulate grass. As if there is just lots and lots of grass lying around. So you can actually use the brushes to simulate things. Or we could use a grass brush. A grass brush. Sorry, I'm getting excited now. I'm getting carried away. Have I got any grass brushes? Thought I did. What are you? What have you got in here? Let's have a gander. Got any weather effects and things? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, is that? We could use this as a. Oh no, it doesn't look as good as I thought. I was going to have like a slash across the eye. Oh, maybe it could work. Let's add some detail. He's pretty battered up, our Steve. Yeah, you got a few scratches on that helmet there. Don't you worry, Steve. We'll get you fixed up. And what other brushes? Ooh, what is this? Oh, what is this brush? I don't even know what this is, but I like it. God, maybe we could. God, maybe we could actually do some actual, like, use some talent for something. We could try and simulate talent at least. Let's get some real brush strokes in there. Nice. Yeah, this is kind of cool actually. So you really can just sort of. It's almost like simulating art to some extent. Or you could do shadows and highlights as well. So if you could, add shadows and highlights in the same way that we would do normally with retouching. Wow, this is a nice brush. Flippin' love that. God, where have you been hiding my whole life? So we could go and add some shadowing under here and swoosh this round. I mean, there's loads we could do with this. We could even use this to sort of try and apply some color. Although I think because I am going for the black and white style, I don't want to get too carried away with the, because this brush is introducing like a bit more grey. It does look flipping cool though. This is really annoying. Yeah, we'll calm down for now. It was fun while it lasted. Maybe just this bit. Maybe that bit was just a bit too much. What else? What else have we got in this little toy box? Rust. Oh, so we can literally just, we could brush in some rust. So we're going beyond the Sumi style brushes now. There's loads that you could do. Oh, God, this is a nice little. Ah, so we could have the sword stabbed into something, and it's like spraying up something. It could be blood, or it could be dirt or dust. So a lot of the little details that you would use for photo manipulation, we're kind of trying to mimic that here as well. Yeah, we could drop the flow and red eyes. We could drop the flow, but I'm going to try and stick to the whole black and white thing. Ooh, ink. Oh, oh wow. This is okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is the sort of brush. Because then you can kind of go in here and do, I guess, a bit more sort of work inking this and actually brushing into it. And so rather than being dependent on rotating a brush, you can quite literally just brush your own strokes. This was my next thing to play around with, and it does look pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is so flippin' fun. Oh, what else we got? Alfgenomina? What the flipping heck is this? Oh my goodness, this is like flipping Christmas for me. Oh, look at that. I'm suddenly become a concept artist. Wow, that is, oh, actually, that is a really nice brush. If anyone wanted to try any sort of concept art. Oh my goodness, maybe I'll try that next. I'm not an artist at all, but I love concept art, and I'd love to be able to sketch things in that sort of way. That'd be a lot of fun though. It's got a lumpy head. Sorry, Steve. I'm trying to sort your head out, mate, but it's just not working. Fix the sword. Make the hilt a bit straighter. Yeah, it's great for adding texture as well. Yeah, that'd be a fun one to play around with. Sampled brush. Oh wow, these are flipping fun. You make me feel like the stream is stuck, but you were just locked in. Yeah. This is the kind of thing I just love doing for enjoyment. It's just so fun. Yeah, so you could add like texture to the clothing there, the tabard as well. There's so much that you could do with it. I got to try and stay away from the grey though. I want to keep it more black and white. Ah, environment. Okay. Nature. Forest. Spruce. Oh no, this could be a good one. This could be good. Hang on, let's get rid of that. Make a new layer. Paste the layer style. This is better. If we stamp in a real forest. Can't see his hand, which is a slight problem. So I wonder if I can try and get around that. Maybe have it like a ridge or something. I could stamp a few more trees like that. What else have we got? Foliage. We're gonna have some flowers. We'll put flowers on his helmet. There we go. Grass. So we used the other brushes before. I wonder if we could get away with stamping some grass. Oh, it's not the best grass brush I've ever had. We could make it thicker so the grass gets smaller as it goes further away. It's not the best grass, I'll be honest. I think it needs to get a bit more faint as it goes further. Yeah, like it's sort of thinning out a little bit. Maybe. Yeah, maybe you could get away with that. I'm still moving. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to troll you sometime. Just literally freeze for like 5 minutes and don't move. I mean, I don't know if I could sit still and shut up for 5 minutes, but I'll give it a go. Dead branches. Oh, maybe that's what I want. More twigs. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, pixelated. Ugh, that's annoying. Will I deal? Am I prepared to deal with pixelated twigs? I don't know. Maybe we'll just use them there to just build up the density. Hmm. As you can see, we do end up with a lot of layers. I put them on different layers so I can delete or move individual bits if I want to. Dead bush. Got a bush as well. God. Mountains. That doesn't look like a mountain, but I guess that's the sort of texture of a mountain, which we could use in the background quite nicely. So you see just how we're building up the scene. This could look really good, actually. I don't know why there's a massive black... Oh, we've got big forest splodge. Let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, let's get rid of it off the armor. There we go. So we got our mountains. Do we actually have a mountain? Do I have a mountain? I got stones. Do I want stones? Not really. Birds. I'll take some birds. No, that's too many birds. I just want like a tiny flock. Maybe one pigeon. Pigeon will do me. That's not a bird. That's awful. Okay, forget that. Billowing smoke. Nope. Dust. Nope. Particles in the air. Nope. Oh, I need a mountain. I'm gonna have to make a mountain, aren't I? Rust. What other ones have we got? Goro stroke. What the heck is that? What is that? God, some of these textures. Oh, we're back to leaves again. We could put a leaf on his helmet. Give him some flowers. I don't know. Oh, I was gonna have some like leaves blowing in the wind. Oh, maybe actually. They're not really contrasty enough, but I could change that. I could change, have some leaves blowing around. And this brush rotates the angle as I'm doing it as well. And then I can change the size and stamp some in all over the place. Kind of have a few up here in the distance. Could even try and add some motion to them. Right, how am I going to get the... I need to make them more black and white. How am I going to do that, though? Thinky think, Dan. Can't use levels because I've got a blending effect. So, nope. Nope. I'm going to have to drop that off. God, I just can't seem to... Is it the multiply? Oh my god, why can't I change the grey? Is it contrast? Ah, I can't seem to do anything with it. Why are you being difficult, Monsieur Leaf? You don't have any effects on you. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Eli. Wind? Yes. Oh, that's all right. Hey, catch you later, Racco. Yeah, why can't I? Oh, it's transparency. That's why. I got you. That's fine. We'll leave them in for now. And what else can we add to the scene? Oh my goodness, we've got trees. We've actually got trees. We need more, like, oh, we don't have a pine tree. That's a damn shame. Fish? We don't really want fish. Clouds. A bit too grey. Dust cloud. Yeah, it's a bit too grey. What else have we got? Feathers, fern. God, some of these brushes are so cool. It's this one. Cool, yeah. Well, interesting. Let's just turn off part of the displacement a little bit. I feel like... You see the differentiation in colour here? They should be the same. So it could be that I've ballsed something up somewhere. I'm not entirely sure what, though. And you can see sometimes turning off layers actually makes things look better. I think parts of this one look a little bit rough. And we got the red. Let's just see what happens if we dial the levels back and update it. It does look kind of cool. So if you wanted to bring more of a grey aesthetic into it, you could just leave the image on, or just let a little bit of that grey creep in. We went quite hard with the black and white only at the start, but you can definitely let a little bit of grey in if you like that sort of style. Right. I mean, what we could do actually, let's just get rid of all the layers that we're not using anymore. Maybe keep that grass. Get rid of the cape. Yeah, so we'll delete all the layers that we're definitely not going to use. And what we can do... Oh, do we want the mountains still? Mountains behind the trees. Yeah, maybe actually. Yeah, let's get rid of all the others. What we can do is we can actually take off that black effect. So we're going to clear the layer style, and this should, if I've done it right, take us back to black and white. Hopefully. Texture. Yeah, we can turn off the texture. We'll add that after. So we're just turning off the layers we don't need right now. And what we can do is we should be able to group all of these ones that are the black and the white. And then just apply the effect to it as a whole. In fact, no, what I'm going to do is, how am I going to do this? We're going to apply levels just to this. We'll darken. Oh, I need to darken. I need to darken everything. But it's not darkening those ones. These ones here. So what we're going to do is we're going to manually try and push that. Okay, right, I can't push them. So I'm going to duplicate it. There we go. I think what was happening was there was transparency in the brush. That's why it wasn't shown properly. So now we should be able to just bring this up. And it should... There we go. Let the texture come through. And the white, we can get rid of that by using multiply. All right. It's just one bit I need to work on that just looks a bit rubbish. That is down here. Might have to add some white. The sort of soft faded edge is just looking a bit weird. Yeah, needs a bit of work, but it's not too bad. That'll do for now. And then we got our red and our dirty texture on top of everything. The red we can blend as well. So if we wanted to, we could blend that in the same way. Oh, cheers, Andrea. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there for sure. I think with the night, I might just go back in to that smart object. And just dial out some of the grey a little bit so it's a bit more black and white. So hopefully if you've been following since the start, this might look insane. You might be like, oh, there's always layers. But it's actually really straightforward to do this. And then at the very end, if you really want to, you can add a final camera raw filter layer, make it a smart object. Go camera raw filter. And play around with it some more. So you could go darker, you could go super light. Texture, clarity, we could add some grain, we could add some sharpening. We could sharpen it up if you wanted. It's quite subtle, but you see the difference here. I think actually I might leave it for this one. Another effect is we could copy this whole thing and smart object it and then go into filter gallery. This is where I started playing around with Photoshop all those years ago. Flipping fell in love with this thing. The amount of pictures I took of like me and friends and stuff, and it would be like, oh, cutout effect. But this can be like a really cool way to get a nice fill or something a bit more stylized. And or we could add another one, add a new layer, and we could go dry brush. Dark strokes is one I used a lot. I wish I could find my old photos. It's like 16, 17-year-old Dan playing around. Yeah, let's change that for something else. God, I've not played around with these in so long. Some of these are really cool. Watercolor. Sponge. Oh, flippin' heck. There's a Sumi-e one. Ha! What the hell? That is literally the style we're going for. So, I mean, it's not very good. Admittedly, it's awful. But does that what? Oh, I see. Yeah, it does add like a little bit. Sort of has it going in a certain direction. Yeah, it's not the best. We could apply it anyway in screen blending mode. And then blend the texture underneath. So, yeah, you could use it. It doesn't really do anything. Just a little bit of an accent, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the cross is a tricky one because it's black. So you could do it on the cross. We'd have to do it slightly differently though. We'd probably have to go in here, I think, and that's black and white, so we can't add the... Actually, no, if we go in here... select that and this, and let's try adding the red in here. Let's go with the same red. The consistency and all that. It's all right, yeah. I don't know. I feel like that with the little spot of red, it was a bit better. I don't know. What do you think? Red, no. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan. I quite like just having the one accent color. Hey, Bong 14K. We can leave it there. We can always leave it there as a maybe we'll turn it on, maybe we won't. And this has just literally been like what? Just over 2 hours of work. So like this is the one that I did. If you just joined, this is the one that I did properly the other day. Spent a few hours on this, like refining it. So this is the one we've done today with a background as well. This is the one that I did yesterday or the day before, whatever it was. I don't know. And so we've got the Japanese word in there. So basically, I just went to ChatGPT and said, generate me the correct styles in, I don't know if it's kanji or katakana, one of those. I think this might be kanji, but I'm not sure. In so that they are correct and they read correctly, but in that sort of same style as this artwork. So it just generated that as an image, which is good because I get the brush style and it means I haven't got to worry about if it's actually legible. Kanji, yeah. So if anyone can read Japanese, hopefully that should say Onryo. If it doesn't, something's gone wrong. Also, hi Wishy. But yeah, no, this I'm really happy with how this one came out. This was a bit more thorough. You see, you've got the strokes at the bottom, just as a more sort of stylistic flourish. But yeah, this one turned out pretty well. You could strip it back as well. You know, you could separate the background into different layers and yeah, maybe turn that off. We've got some spatters dotted around, so you could get rid of the spatters and just keep the leaves. But yeah, that is pretty much the technique. Does anyone have any questions before I shoot off? The only other thing you'll want to do if you have a go at this is just spend longer on it. It's just all about time. Just carefully brushing into the black and adding whites and just making things make sense. Like this bit around here, that just feels weird. So it was just like, doesn't make any sense. It doesn't reinforce the geometry or the armor or anything. So like brushing bits in and just cutting them out, it doesn't, if it doesn't make sense, it's, you know, it's worth thinking like, oh, should I do this or not? Like there's some bits I can just see around here that just feel a bit rough. But yeah, I think with the displacement map as well, it can just kind of give it that sort of, it just helps sell that style a bit more. It looks awesome. Oh, thank you. Do you think so? Yeah, I always want the stuff like this to look really good, but the reality is that for me to just bang it out in 2 hours, it's sometimes possible. But if I was going to carry on with this, I would spend a lot longer on it, refining everything. Maybe even using a reference image, or yeah, just to kind of see how like another artist's interpretation of a night would look and how they would approach it in terms of the brush strokes, because I don't know about ink brushing and all that stuff. I've got no idea. That's not what I do. So any sort of references from professionals would be really helpful. Thanks, Wishy. Red in the eyes. Go on then, we'll just try it before going. There is actually, in fact, I know there's a brush for the eyes that'd be perfect because I used it. What shape was it? It wasn't this one, but I'm going to try this one. The problem is the eyes are dark. So I might have to maybe lose the blending mode. Also want to try and match the angle and perspectives and all that stuff. Oh crap, these are on the same layer, aren't they? No. Oh no, that's good. Okay, cool. So I can rotate them. And then maybe the red. Just keep it solid. And to avoid these looking too samey, let's distort them. Because I have just lazily used the same brush. So we could do that. We could make this one a bit darker because it's kind of on the shadowed side of the face. So just a little something. I don't know. Let's see if it'll go with this style. Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool. We could. I don't know if this is a bit too overboard. Oh, I don't know if I've got a smoke brush. Not installed it. Yeah. I'll try this. This might look terrible. And we could do a warp and we could kind of bend it down a bit and just have it sort of flicking up. Yeah, maybe it kind of gives them like a bit more of a. Do you see what the difference is? There, it's just like a stamp. This just feels a bit better actually. I think. In fact, yeah. Hmm. It's amazing how you can use brushes like this to, you see here, just like creating more texture. But also to shape the eyes, to make them look a bit more sinister. There we go. How's that? You got your evil flaming red eyes. And what this looks like in negative. Oof. Oh yeah, I definitely have to play around with this a bit more and carry on. Cool. Right. I'm going to shoot. Thank you so much for joining today. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you want to see more of this, let me know. If you don't and you thought it was rubbish, then let me know that as well. But yeah. Next stream. Yeah, we do it normal stream on Thursday. I think we'll do Thursday. I don't think anything's happening Thursday. We had to switch it around today just because I got a haircut tomorrow afternoon and a bunch of other things happening. But yeah, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye!